Today we're taking a look at set 6584 Extreme Team Challenge. It was released in the year 1998 and original retail price was $54, and according to the box it is 354 pieces. And I'm actually hoping that this review is going to be an unboxing as well, because the seller listed it as used, but it had all the major items that I could see and all the inner bags were still sealed. And so I'm just hoping that all the bags are there, because if they are, then this is really just a sealed set with an open box. And I paid literally the price of a used one for it. So pretty excited to check this one out and see if it's got everything. It does have the box, so that's what you see here. And here we have the back. It does have like a strip of packing tape across the back and then some water damage up in the corner, but not too major. We see some pretty interesting alternate builds. I like that pontoon looking racer in the bottom left there. That's pretty cool. Gotta back up to show you this side here. Nothing on the other side. That's the bottom of the box and the top. Now this set does have one of those flip up window things. So as you can see on the inside here, you can see it's got the inner tray, it's got the raised base plate, all the figures and parts are still in there where they should be, and you can see all the other little parts behind them. And here's the top of the inside flap. Give you a closer look at all of this. Alright, so now we're going to take the tray out and see what's inside. So here's the inner tray. As you can see, we've got like the wheels and the large rock pieces. And then on this side here, it's even got the film covering this tray part, so it doesn't look like any of this has been opened at all. So I really do think this whole thing is sealed. Here's the raised base plate, which is the primary reason I wanted to get this set, because I've always loved the printing on this base plate. And I think I've already told you guys plenty of times that I love this design of the raised base plate too. So this is just one that I've always wanted and never been able to get. So to find it for such a good price, it was a pretty easy buy for me. As you can see, we've got the tent underneath, a little bit of a curl up there, but no creases. And then we've got one of the advertising booklets from '98, another little advertising pamphlet, and then the instructions behind it. Looks like there is some damage on the instructions, which I said before, you know, she had this all laid out, so I guess somehow that got damaged, but that's okay. And then we've got what looks to be all the sealed bags here. We've even got like this string in there. Sorry, it's not focusing. Another bag, a bunch of bags. So, I mean, yeah, it looks complete to me. I guess we'll find out once I start building it, but I'm pretty excited for this. So let's go ahead and open all this up and then we can start building. So here's the completed set, and first we're going to take a look at our minifigures. And since each stuntman comes with a vehicle, I figured I'd show that with them as well. So the white stunt guy gets this yellow Trike Vehicle. And I don't think I've ever got this Trike mold in yellow. It's not my favorite, but it is cool to get it in a new color. On the back here, he's got a trans neon green antenna as well as a radio clipped to the back. Here's a minifigure up close. He's got the Extreme Team printing on his shirt there. And for whatever reason, this guy specifically came out pretty low quality on the print. Looking at the other guys, you can see they have a much cleaner torso print there, so not sure what happened with this guy. Either way, he's got a flame printing on his helmet there, and then underneath, that is his face print, and all their face prints are pretty similar, and of course their outfits are the same apart from just the colors of their sleeves and their helmets. Next up is the blue stuntman and his small little ATV here. Although what's cool about this thing right here is that it's got a suspension built into this single piece right here. So as you can see, they have springs that allow it to rock back and forth like that. And that's really cool. I've never seen this piece before, and I like the way that works on such a small build. He's got the same radio and antenna on the back of this one. And up close of the figure, he's got the same flame print and torso print as all the other guys, except this time in blue. And then his head is just this smiley face with a little bit of white hair. But I think that's okay. It's a little bit weird when they don't have a helmet on and you can see the ends of the hair. Hair printed directly on like that just looks a little bit strange on minifigures. But when you're looking through the visor like that, I think he looks good. Then we've got the green stuntman and his little raft here. I do like this inflatable raft mold. It looks pretty accurate, and I like the yellow coloring as well. I think this is also the first time I've gotten this piece in yellow. I know I had it in black before, so cool to be getting these nice molds in different colors. Other than that, the actual vehicle just has this little paddle here on a hinge so that he can, I guess, steer where he's going. Here's the figure. Again, same torso and helmet print, just in green this time. And then his face is very similar to the first guy we saw, just slightly different glasses. And that's pretty much it. Then we have the red stuntman here in my favorite vehicle. Definitely the one that caught my eye in the magazine and made me want to get this set. It's just a beast. I mean, these wheels are huge, way oversized for the chassis of this car. And I love that it's got like a hot rod style going on there with these chrome exhaust pipes going out the engine like that. Just looks really cool. Unfortunately, this doesn't have any sort of suspension, which is kind of strange because we saw suspension on the much smaller ATV. I guess this one they just couldn't really find a good way to build that into a small chassis like this. But either way, it looks really cool and intimidating. And it also has a windable winch on the back, which has a play feature with the set, so I'll show you that when we get to it. And then, of course, nothing new here, same prints. I forgot these guys also have back printing, which was pretty rare for the time. Just a little X symbol for the Extreme Team. I didn't even turn them around until just now because I never think that these old figures have back printing, so that's kind of funny. Yeah, so he's got a slightly different head print, just a very slightly different visor. But apart from that, everything's the same and just in red coloring. So those are our 4 minifigures. So here we have the actual playset built on top of the raised base plate. As you can see, there's not a ton going on here compared to some other raised base plate sets we've seen. But I think a lot of that is because we also have 4 standalone vehicles like I just showed you. So there's really only 3 main sections here. We have the mountain over here, the tent, and then the rope bridge. So I guess we'll start out front with the suspension bridge, and as you can see, it's got some little ramps going up on either side so that they can get onto it. And it's designed to scale with this little ATV here, so you can just drive them up like that and send them across. One thing that I really like about this is that it's got these printed wood plank tiles, which is cool. It's got 10 of those all the way across. And the bridge actually does wobble back and forth on this point right here, which is cool. And then it rotates left and right on this right here. There's also a little gray parrot hidden behind the rope bridge there on a perch near the water, which is cool. So the next spot over here is the tent build, and they've got a little campfire out front. The tent itself is just like a piece of cloth that you fold and put over these little ball joints right there. It is a very thick, high quality material, and I think it's the same that they used for like the sails and stuff for the pirate sets at the time. It's got a little post so that you can hold it open like that. And unfortunately, the tent is probably my least favorite aspect of the set, just because it can be hard to get inside there, and the back usually pops open a lot too, which doesn't look too great. So if you see what I mean here, it's just got this little red bar piece that holds both sides, but it's actually elevated a little bit to the point where even if this just gets barely hit, they come up over it, and then they pop out like that. This side does make it easier to sort of get in to the inside of the tent, and as you can see, there's actually a small play feature in there. They've got a trap door with a snake sitting on it, which is a little bit strange. I mean, I guess if you have a snake in your tent, you want to get it out, but I don't know why you'd build a tent on top of a trap door. So that is just built up over here by these supports, and then the rest of it is sitting on top of the raised base plate. But you just push this little knob right here, and the snake gets perfectly stuck across the trap door like that. That's funny. Let's try that again though. So you just push this, and then out comes the snake. Again, it just seems weird, just a strange place for a trapdoor, and I think they were just trying to come up with somewhere to put a play feature, since there's not much else to this build. And then lastly, we have the mountain here, and it does look a little bit narrow, although the raised base plate going from river to mud to grass to stone into the mountain does help to give it some width and make it feel like it is part of the base plate as well. It's cool that it has the white bricks on top to make it look like snow so that you feel like you're really high up. I just think that's a nice touch. And one of the play features on this is in the water here, so we're going to have to move in a little bit closer. So with the raft going through the water like this, if he gets snagged on this branch here, he topples all the avalanche down on top of him, and hopefully he's not too harmed. That's pretty fun. I think I would have enjoyed that as a kid, although admittedly it is a little bare bones. You've just got these three loose rock pieces sitting precariously on top of this ledge that has a hinge, and then when this turntable moves it out of the way, it just all comes down like that. There you go. And as a play feature, it works. It just doesn't look particularly good in my opinion. And definitely when you're moving this thing around at all, these three pieces will fall off as many times as they possibly could. And then lastly, we have my favorite play feature, which involves the large off-road vehicle here. And that is with the winch. You just hook it onto this little bar piece that's on top of the mountain there. And then you can pull the car as far out as you want it to be so that it is nice and taut on the string. Then you get your Stuntman and put him up at the top here and let him go. And that works really well. I think that's a lot of fun. I definitely really would have loved that as a kid and just been seeing how far I could stretch the car out to still get it to work. They've also got a vine going up the mountain there in case they want to climb it that way. They got a backpack that I guess they just left up there while they were climbing. There's also a little camera here so that they can record their awesome stunts across the rope bridge. So on the back side of the mountain here, you can see there's nothing really to look at, which I guess is fine. You've got all the play features in the front, but this entire back half of the base plate is not utilized for anything, which I think is kind of a shame. But I really do love the printing on this base plate, and the colors just look really nice. So adjusted for inflation, the set would have retailed for $91.41 today. However, current used prices still have it at a very reasonable $65.76. I definitely think that that's worth it at that price. You get a lot of cool pieces like the mountain pieces. You get some printed pieces like the wood planks and the tent. And of course, the red ATV is just seriously cool and way oversized, and I love it. The minifigures are a little bit lacking, although I'm not sure what else you could do to make them more interesting. And as I've said many times, I think the raised base plate is at least half of that value right there. And normally these more grounded, realistic themes aren't my jam, but this one I really enjoyed actually. I think I enjoyed it more than I expected to. But that's just my thoughts on it. I would love to hear yours in the comments below. And as always, thank you for watching.